and we're good.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 19 of the Game Junction Podcast. We have our wonderful guest here today, the Tech Buzz. How's it going today, man?
Hey, man, it's going great. Thanks for inviting me. Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Tony, how you doing tonight?
Oh, doing good, man. Doing good. Just been getting a lot of work done around the house,
Yeah, Mark, what's up?
Not too. I'm trying not to freeze to death, but other than that, it's going pretty good.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow tomorrow. And we have, for the first time hosting with us, Brandy. How's it going?
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Just hanging in there.
Nice.
Absolutely. We're definitely happy to have you. You guys see all this news that's going on this week? Holy crap.
I think I missed
Tons
some
of
of it.
You can't not miss it. It's so much of it. You got to miss some of it.
Well, and the crazy thing was that like a lot of this I had already heard that we have for tonight that we were talking about. There was so much other stuff I kept seeing popping up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, is this prime news week for the year? It's absolutely insane. And let's see. So one of the first things which has been going around everywhere, kind of, it is directly video game relating, but at the same time, it's not. We have Henry Cavill has been signed on to be in the Warhammer 40K movie, 40,000. Everybody see that?
I did.
Yeah, I definitely heard mention of it. I never dug into it, but I was like, that's interesting.
I played a little bit of Warhammer back early years, maybe like a year or two, and then I just completely got out of it. So I know it's like a whole different world nowadays.
I'll be honest with you, I played one of them and I know absolutely zip about it because I'm not my kind of game.
Yeah,
Not my kind of game.
It's a game I tried to get into, but I couldn't. But I do have
Exactly.
a friend that's like that and what is it? Dota, like two series that he was heavily into. At least before he had a kid. I don't know if he plays as much anymore now, but
Do we ever if we have kids?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean
Just kidding. We do. We just stay up later.
that's
have to adjust.
We work on less sleep.
Yeah, right.
yeah, that's usually how it goes down. Steven, you know anything about a Warhammer?
I played it a little bit back then, but it's just not my cup of tea. I played it a little bit, and it just kind of went to the shelf, So, yeah. It was kind of like okay, ho-hum, move on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. Not my kind of game, but it seems like the lore behind it could be kind of interesting. Like it could maybe make for a fun movie.
I think there's enough lore for a series.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
It doesn't lag.
I hope they play it right though. That's the thing, It just depends on how they do with that first.
I was just gonna say that they got to do it right because even the latest Mortal Kombat that came out, not to go into that, but I was really disappointed with that. I totally was just shaking my head. It seems like every time they make a video game movie, it's just a disaster. So I don't have high hopes for this.
I can't pick a great one out, honestly. I mean, Doom was bad. Like the one they tried with The Rock. Like, I mean, everybody was acting okay, but the movie was just bad.
We could always go back and watch the old Super Mario Brothers movie.
I was just watching the gaming historian talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, it was amazing. I don't know. That's one of those that I just love to hate it, but you hate to love it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it was, the first, so they didn't have much to go off of.
Exactly.
I don't know how you go from side-scrolling Save the Princess to some weird cyberpunk Mario world. I don't know.
With a Lizard King.
Some tiny, small, super small dinosaur.
So I'm really surprised this came up. This is totally organic, but I literally just watched the documentary that he did on it last night, and it's all due to rewrites and staff changes, director changes. Like, oh my god, it's so bad. That movie was doomed from the start.
That's what I feel like this is gonna do. It's gonna be doomed from the start. That's the perfect way to say it.
Well, I mean, like all the other ones coming out too, though. They actually, The Witcher, I think, was probably the closest one that, or the one that everybody's really enjoyed the most so far. I've heard the least amount of bad feedback about. But now you've got the Fallout series coming out. There's so many Fallout fans out there. They better do that. They better do that right, or they're gonna piss a lot of people off.
I would say as far as like with the with The Witcher, that there was some issue when Henry Cavill left. There was some tension. Also, he criticized them going away too far from the lore, from the books with that. So I that's why I have a little bit of reserved hope as far as that goes with what he's going to be doing as far as like Warhammer.
Maybe he'll be able to rein it in a little bit.
He looks like he's involved in something that he actually cares about the source material to a degree.
Right. That's what I saw too.
As far as you need to flex with the adaptation at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing him talk about The Witcher, and that was one that, like, I think he liked the source material, but if I remember right, he said that he had only played like one of the games or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one that he legitimately says that he really likes, and it'd be cool to see what happens.
But do we hold it to too much of a high standard? Because I mean, look, Sonic came out, and Sonic was great, but it had nothing to do with the game. Had nothing to do with the game. The storyline, nothing. Just the enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they should do that and set the precedence ahead of time, because we're all going into this thinking that this is going to be just like the storyline in the game, right?
Right.
And it's not.
I mean, kind of hard. There's so many. What do you want to call it? There's so many base.
Yeah.
I don't know, like races. I guess you want to sit with, because they each. I did play it like. Depending on the race you start with, you have your own lore background. So I guess you have to figure out like who they want to like have be their main characters be, and kind of go from there.
Could do like a Lord of the Rings thing with it, and you like have a little bit from each faction shown each time, or like maybe different episodes on each faction.
I'm just not versed enough in Warhammer to really know, but
that's what I'm saying. I saw when looking this up, I saw there's like 80 different books with lore like in the series, just books, not even like directly with the game, just offshoot books. And I'm like, this is where I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about the game. But hey, I mean, it might be, as long as it's a fun action flick that's not like giving the series a bad name or representing something that it's not. It might be cool.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Oh, I was just going to acknowledge some of the comments here. We've got Glenn's Retro Show saying hey. Bill's Retro Gaming Show saying hello. We've got Lucas in here, and then it looks like Bill's Retro Gaming Show said Henry Cavill's a huge Warhammer fan. If they're smart, they'll listen to his feedback.
Agreed.
I agree with that. Yeah, and which I guess Lucas said they did that with the Witcher series, so he did have some feedback and
maybe why it was so good, and it's probably going to bomb now.
Yeah.
Too many writers get their hands in it. You know, too much money involved. Producers, they all want a little say so in it.
Yeah.
Well, Glenn will
I'm
like
for
this,
sure hoping for the best.
Glenn will like this, but that's how he feels with Star Wars. You know, as soon as Kathleen Kennedy got her hands on it, she destroyed Star Wars. Now I did like the new stuff, but for the most, and I have a feeling like Bill's right with this. If they don't listen to him, it's gonna tank. It's just forget it.
Because I guess at that point you have to have your core base audience of the fan base that plays these games, and if you don't have them, the bottom of your audience is just gonna fall out.
100%.
Well, do you think all the people that play the games actually read the books, or vice versa, or do you think there is like a division there between the actual book people?
There's people that just like the game, and there's people that really get into lore and will read the books. But I'm sure there's a drop off when you start getting like deep in the lore with any series.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing with like League of Legends, right? So it's like one style of game, and there's not much to it. There isn't really story from what I understand, but now they've got like an animated movie. I think they're working on a show, and they've got like 6 or 7 spin-off games that are out or planned for it now. And I mean, it's it's League of Legends. It's a hit. Yeah, I mean, it seems to work with that. I think that the Cyberpunk anime did pretty good, which isn't a live action movie. I think Detective Pikachu did pretty well. Sonic seemed to do good numbers.
Detective Pikachu did good because it had Ryan Reynolds. That's the only thing that was dragging that movie along. That movie was horrible.
But it sold.
I didn't like it.
But it sold because it was Pokemon, and every kid in the world wanted to watch it. So Pokemon could have been sitting there spinning on a Ferris wheel, and every kid in the world would have wanted to watch it anyways, and it would have been like the top of the box. So,
that's
the reality.
Just being Pokemon, it's gonna sell. You can tell that with the games.
Exactly.
I mean, it is the #1 franchise in the world, so it's not surprising. Speaking of which, good segue. We've got this has been announced. I think this was yesterday or the day before. The next season of Pokemon will no longer star Ash and Pikachu after Ash beat the champions. And I guess essentially they're doing. There's a Netflix series for Pokemon called Pokemon Journeys, the show. They're going to do 11 special episodes, and then he will no longer be in the series.
I think it's inevitable. Trying to move on.
I mean, isn't that dude like 45 years old at this point?
Well, I don't think he's actually turned 11 yet in the show. So
yeah, over 20
it's like
years.
the Simpsons, man. They never age.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously that affected some of our childhoods. Me and Mark, super deep into that. Brandy, how are you with the Pokemon anime?
I grew up with Pokemon like my entire life, and I hate to break it to all of us, but we're all getting old. So sometimes, things have to come to an end. It's very difficult. Just having a chat about Blue's Clues earlier, and Steve, things have to come to an end at some point.
Man, some of those things Steve's come out with lately just make you bring a tear to your eye. Just thanks, Steve, for crushing my childhood now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
don't you think this will hurt the series though? I mean, honestly, because even with this generation, it's synonymous for Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will. And especially in the Japanese market. But
I guess it's hard to tell. I haven't watched the series in like 10+ years, but I guess it depends on how they follow up the series with who their next main character is going to be, and kind of how they transition it.
That 10 episode build up, or what'd you say it was? 12 episodes?
11 episodes. 11? Yeah.
I missed it both times.
I did see some clip on either Facebook or YouTube where, like, as far as like the main series, they did a good little like outro clip as far as like closing out his story in the main series at the very least.
I saw that.
That's what they're gonna have to do, and then really build whoever they're gonna, let to take over. They're gonna have to build them up really good in those 11 episodes.
Yeah, that's my thing. I just don't think anything will ever hit like that did. He's synonymous with it. Like, can you really reestablish another we're looking at like 27 years worth of a character?
I think they can, because you do it in the games all the time.
It's Pokemon, so they'll see numbers, but will it be the same? So the same effect.
I'll ask you guys this question: when your favorite rock band, 20 years, loses its lead singer because he has no voice left, AC/DC,
Drowning Pool,
is it the same band? No. You sit there and you listen to it and you're like, yeah, he sounds like him, but it's not AC/DC, or it's you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be like Steven Tyler not doing it. You just can't do that. So I have that feeling that this is going to backfire on. Personally, that's what.
I guess.
I think it's going to
it'll still purely on the basis of everybody's going to want to know. So I think it'll maybe really do good to start with, but I do think you'll see that tank off. Because the grounds aren't there anymore.
I guess they could be trying to target a newer, younger audience. And then with it being an animated series, if it tanks, you could always bring him back. The only thing that would change would be, voice acting. But
we've already been through that. We've already lost the original voice actor once.
It's been like 25 years the series has been ongoing.
I feel like they're jamming Pokemon down your throat now, even with like Switch releases and stuff like that. It's like, come on, guys. We just had a release. Now you're bringing 2 more games out. Like, come on. Like, calm down.
I'm honestly surprised they have not jumped on the season pass bandwagon yet.
How would that work?
I don't know how that works.
Dude, I don't know, but it could. I don't know. I don't
Nintendo.
Think it would work.
Yeah. I don't know, but I could see the DLC, which, I mean, if it's made after, bring it on, like a game like Violet and Scarlet that are as big as they are and as much replayability, I
mean, we're past the point.
I can see that.
They've been doing DLC for a while now.
They have, but it's all been free so far, right? No, that's not true. Sword and Shield, that's right. So they charged for that, and it did very, very well. Even got its own physical for that.
Because it was good DLC compared to the.
It was good
I
DLC.
think the stories in those DLC, even though they weren't as big, were better than the original. Plus,
better than the original.
Added a bunch of Pokemon that weren't already in the base game. So.
I agree with that. I mean, it'll sell. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it's gonna sell.
I'm not saying they should do it, but with the DLC for this, like, it's got to be bigger than Sword and Shield. This game's a massive. So
Are they
I
going
think
to change the
overall,
theme song?
I think they've probably done that like 50
They
times.
better.
It's anime in general. Every 20 episodes, you get a new theme song.
They just need to start using that
exactly.
dude. What's the guy that did the TikTok cover? Sounds like Jack Black. He did like
yeah, I
a
saw
metal
that.
version of it. It was
Saw
amazing.
that.
They should just use his from now on.
Yeah,
I would
yeah, they
actually
should.
probably watch it more.
I mean, it was very good for sure. So it looks like in other news, we've got the Diablo 4 Collector's Edition does not include the game, so we're getting yet another release that's like that, where we're not even getting the game in it.
Wait, are they at least giving you a download
No.
code? No
No
download
game.
code, no nothing. So you just
No
the
game
special
at
edition
all.
crap, and then you pay the extra 60 for the game.
Exactly. Yes. Collector's
Wait, didn't they
Edition,
just
no
do
game.
this? Didn't they do that? Didn't another company do
God
that
of
just
War.
recently?
God of
Yeah.
War. But yeah, the big edition for that came. Well, it actually came with
It
a
came with
download
digital,
code,
a digital code.
a digital
but
download
this-
code, and a steel book.
Yeah,
But no
with
game.
no disc.
No game.
Yeah.
What's the point of the steel case if you just know it's just
Which
download
this
code?
also has too, a steelbook with no
Where's
game
the
at all.
physical
So.
media going?
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah, that's a heavy discussion.
It's
because-
behind you right now, and behind Mark.
You got
Yeah.
all of it, Brandy.
That's
Well,
where it's at.
Yeah, like 7,500 games. You know, it's not all of it. I'm working.
It's going the
Kids
way.
Yeah,
today
the-
they don't want physical media. They want everything downloaded.
They do.
It's faster.
That's
Yeah,
not
that way they can pull your license anytime they want. Because it's
Yep.
not you're not purchasing
don't-
the game, you're purchasing a license to play the game. Just
I
like
mean,
with
It was
with
like
all the
that-
servers shut down.
It was
And
like
it's
that with
cheaper for
physical-
them, so
Physical media is the same way. It's technically a license to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
It
you
is,
can't
but-
Yeah.
retroactively.
But in
take
the
it away.
same, but I mean, think about it. In the same result, like we buy the physical media, and then what's the first thing we got to do when we stick the stupid disc in besides
have an
install
update.
it?
Wait an
You have
hour
an
for an update.
So even if you have the physical media, you still can't play it without
Mhm.
them giving you some sort
Yeah.
of digital. So I love physical. I collect it. I have a whole nother room that's dedicated to just physical, and my kids understand like the physical. But it's not like it was in the days of the cartridges, right?
Right.
And it's sad because like I try to get my hands on as much physical as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to brainwash you into saying, well, you don't really need that.
Exactly.
I think it's that, and it's
Yeah.
also an issue of as the games just progressively get larger and larger, you run into the issue of how much you can put on like a disc essentially without
Yeah.
needing additional download stuff.
They're gonna start giving out thumb drives instead of CDs
Yeah.
or DVDs or Blu-rays.
I think you're
or
going
hard
the way,
drives.
You're going that way. That's kind of how my PC gaming is. It's just like I've got all these games, but they're on a 10
yeah.
Terabyte.
terabyte external hard drive essentially.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right though.
I just think that's.
I mean, you got to figure though. Even with the new consoles, you get what 1 terabyte on your Xbox and 1 terabyte on your PS5, which is only like
And you really
600
don't
gigs
get that
70
much.
usually.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's like I think it's either 8 or 6. I think might have been 800.
It's about 800,
Six-
I think.
675.
Was it okay? Yeah. So yeah, you
Okay.
get 600,
only know that
600
because-
usable space. Come on.
I just got for my son for Christmas. So I had to
Nice.
set it up
Oh,
early.
okay.
So I set up early, yeah, because he's been wanting to play mine. And so when I set it up, I'm like, I never even looked at it when I did mine. I was like,
Mhm.
675 on a 1 terabyte? Are you gotta
Yeah.
be kidding me?
No.
Like, what are you doing
Yep.
with this space?
Hopefully PS5 gets to the point where you had with the PS4, you can just plug any external drive, format it, and then just dump all your stuff onto an external drive.
Well, I
and
mean,
it
it
kinda
does
mitigates
actually work for the
issue.
PS4 games, but it will not
Yeah.
hold your PS5 games. Like
Yeah.
you can run PS4 games.
can't
You
play
whenever-
them
you can
natively.
store them. You can
Yeah.
store
Right.
them, but you have to transfer
Exactly.
them back to the
'Cause
M2
you-
drive.
Yeah,
you're
in
still
order to
waiting.
play.
It's
Yes.
the SSD issue that you
Yes.
didn't have with the PS4. So until you get like an SSD external drive type thing,
Yes,
or you'll
that's
have
what I
to
did.
buy their arbitrary that they only make, and they can charge you way more than the
Mhm.
storage capacity.
Yeah.
Or
of the
you
storage
go out and
market.
buy a 2 terabyte or 3 terabyte M2 drive and spend about $600
Yeah,
on top
extra.
of your $600. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, extra on top.
And
of
then
your
and then the
500.
650 for the PSVR 2.
Oh, don't even get started on.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that
I know we're gonna get
when I
into
got-
VR.
when I got the SSD, I filled it up that day, and I was so angry that I filled it up in one day, had
Oh, man.
nothing left over, and I'm still deleting games every time I want an update or another game.
Put Call of Duty on there.
Oh, that I said I said I'm not doing Call of
Yeah, I'm
Duty
kinda-
anymore on there.
kind of the same way. Mixture between the physical and what digital media I have. It's like I only keep installed when I'm actively play. If I stop playing a game, get rid of it because it's just eating up space, and it's unfortunate, but you kind of have to.
My thing with that is that if I want to play a game, I want to have access to and not wait, an hour, 2 hours when I get like an hour to play.
I guess it sucks to have slow internet speed. It doesn't take that long to download a game. 30 minutes.
And it doesn't anymore. But in relation, yeah, I was where Tony was at just 2 months ago. I had to wait hours, and now it's like max like 15 minutes. But it's kind of not the point. Like I like having access to it, and then with time, it's just.
Yeah, my son tried to upload a 7-minute video. It took like 3 hours earlier. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I was dealing with. It's crazy. So looks
what
like
you get for living in the boondocks, I guess. Down here in Georgia.
Anybody ever played Fantavision on the PS2?
Never even heard of it, to be honest.
Wait a minute, I think I've seen it. That's the one with the black cover, like the fire shooting up.
Yeah,
I've had it 100 times. I don't think I've ever played it.
So it's actually really fun. And it's kind of like a cult classic. Like people are always talking about this game in a way that like other games haven't necessarily done it in the same type of way. And I can't really describe it. It's funny because I just played it for the first time about 2 months ago. I've had it forever also, and they have it on the premium service with the PS5 upgrade. So I tried it out. I'm like, all right, this is like a sub $5 game, but it's really fun. It's like something you probably want to do multiplayer and in like 15-minute bursts. But anyway, with that, and people have been asking for a sequel forever. They are doing a sequel for PS5 and the VR2, and it's called Fantavision 20X.
Huh. So a VR version of that game.
Yes, they're doing VR2 and then like a physical just PS5 as well. And it looks like no PS4.
I'm game. I'll try it. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird game. Like it's like a niche game. I haven't played anything else like it, but it's definitely one worth checking out if you got premium. It takes like a couple minutes to download, worth trying out. Like I didn't even save it on my PS5 because I'm not going to go back to it if I don't have somebody to play multiplayer with.
I think I've actually still got it in my tote of stuff in the closet for PS2.
Yeah, I've got it around the shelf as well. But for some reason, with like 6 years, I've never even tried it. So I
haven't played it.
The shelf warmers.
I have it. Haven't played it.
Definitely check it out. It's interesting, but it's a puzzle-esque game. Like it's kind of like Geometry Wars meets like just a weird, obscure puzzle game. So it's kind of cool. Like,
is this it?
Let me see here.
Yes.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yep. Actually, pretty cool. Like I said, it's like a burst game. Like jump in with a friend for like 15, 20 minutes. Other people might enjoy playing it longer, but I don't think I could like do a 4-hour session of Fantavision. Yeah, check this out. It's kind of cool.
Oh, it's dope.
Watch this.
This is the PS2 version, just
for
the record.
When it gets crazy, it's kind of cool trying to figure out stuff. It's got like Atari vibes, but it's cool.
So I would want to play this with a spinner.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or like a mouse ball, like on the old
exactly. A track
Millipede game. Yeah, trackball. There you go.
Yep.
You gotta see it get crazy though.
So how do you play this with a controller? You're just using your analog stick to?
Yeah, and it just cuts it down, split screen, so you're both doing fireworks. But what's cool is it'll get to a segment where fireworks are all open, and you can actually hit every single one of those with one player, getting like a super big combo. And I got like a 72 combo on it. I did really good, but like I said, it's not something I would want to.
It kind of reminds me of like a Missile Command almost.
That and like Geometry Wars is kind of
pointing. Your pointer's going towards where the target is, and you go to that firework. Okay, I see.
So this could be cool in VR.
Yeah, in VR, that's
right.
Cool. Yeah, that would look really cool.
Yeah, because I did play that. What was the Tetris Effects in VR?
Yes,
and that was actually really dope. I really enjoyed that.
So with that, like VR, is that gonna be more like a 3-dimensional type thing? We gotta like constantly be spinning around, or is it still gonna kind of be that more like a flat screen?
I don't know. There was nothing in
I could
the news
imagine
report.
also like with the PS2 VR having the haptic feedback, having
Yes.
like when the firework bursts, like you have that little vibration around your head. And
You're making me excited for
maybe
wondering-
the percussion in your ears of it.
I'm wondering if you're like standing in the city. Think of that as 3D and you're looking up
Like
in the
shooting up
fireworks.
with your gun
Yes.
or something.
Yes,
That could be
100%.
cool.
That would be fun.
That would be so cool, but I feel like they're not doing it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's this and VR.
I don't know.
And-
You said sequel, so it's not like a remake in VR.
This sequel, yeah.
Exactly.
It's not a remake. So, hey, I mean, I hope it is.
They did it
That
with
could be
Beat
cool.
Saber. I mean, they could do
Yeah.
it with this.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be cool. And the Tetris effects, like Tony brought up, really cool in VR. Like changes the game. It just looks super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how
Nice.
that works out for sure. So in some other news, we've got this just happened about 2 hours ago. It was tweeted out. Insignia dropped Doom 3, both the version with DLC and without on the original Xbox. So that one was, and they tweeted out, "Here's a Christmas present. We're giving you Doom 3, both versions."
Oh shit! I don't have mine here. Thought I had it with me.
That's one of 5 games I have for it. So I'm looking forward to that. Like
Anybody else on here played on the original Xbox Live yet?
I have
The
haven't,
OG Live. Yeah, me
Good
and Brandon
stuff.
and Shane. He's not able to make it tonight, but we all three were playing on Unreal the other night. It was really cool being able to get back on original Xbox and hit
it
that
was
live
fun.
switch and go.
They I didn't put this in the notes, but they also dropped like 4 different sports games, like just random year ones, which
Some random FIFA
I mean, I'm
2001.
yeah, there was like I don't even remember. They were football games. I think NCAA games that people like were requesting, but I just that's whatever.
Are they
Doom 3's
charging? Are they charging you for these games, or are they just
Nope.
kind of
Nope.
including them?
Nope, it's
free.
all
Yeah.
it's all
That's
free.
good.
Their whole Insignia server is free, and they said eventually, I think it's going to be over the next year or 2 years. Any original Xbox game that you pick up that says live on the cover, you're going to be able to play on their server for free.
Oh, nice.
You just have to
It's
soft mod your
really cool.
Xbox. It's
So-
a quick,
so they're-
easy soft mod on your Xbox. You plug it in with your Ethernet cable, and you jump online.
So they're not doing what Nintendo does and make you buy The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers 100 times
Exactly.
to play the same game on.
Yeah, as long as you have a copy, as long as you got a
right.
disc copy, you pop that in your Xbox and you go.
Sweet. I had that.
Yeah,
in
it's-
3.
It's cool stuff, and it's great that they're not charging anything for it. They don't tweet out asking for money. There's like a donation thing on their website, but I mean, it's literally like you're playing original Xbox Live. Works the same way.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like on their website, they had damn near 3,900 registered users for it
It's
already.
wild. Yeah, it's doing really well, to say the least. So it looks like HTC is developing a new VR headset that will compete with the Oculus Quest. I don't know if that's going to compete like with the Pro, but the Quest 2, and I assume obviously VR 2 now with that coming out.
Everyone's got their
I-
next upgrade of their VR.
Do you know anything else about that, Tony? I
haven't heard about HTC at all. I mean, I've got the Quest 2. My son basically stole it from me. I don't get to play it at all.
They do the Vibe, right?
Yeah, HTC does Vive, and I think they had another thing, did they not? Or was that? I think the Vive is theirs.
Yeah. So I assume it's just.
I'm assuming they're just going to go wireless with it and be able to, have more of a portable headset versus having to be plugged
Right.
in.
Makes less
I s-
wires to like rip stuff out,
Mhm.
destroy stuff.
They're also doing like what they're calling color pass through, for like some sort of mixed reality that they're doing. But
Mm.
Some AR too.
yeah, it's gonna be at
Interesting.
CES. But I'm like you guys. I have the Quest 2 and the PSVR 1, which makes me sick every time I put it on.
Every
Like, I can't-
time. God, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Thank you.
Yeah, but the medical, I can wear that for hours and not
Yep.
have any problems with it.
Okay.
And my thing, even with Sony, they missed the boat again with the PS. I won't buy it because it's wired. You don't play VR wired. Period. That's Stone Age stuff. Like Sony, what are you doing?
I mean, I see the advantages with it being that they have upgraded the headset very much so, and all the
But you're
processing
locked
power
if you're-
of the actual. That's true.
You're gonna rip it right out of the system. My kids
Yeah.
have done it almost a couple times.
So one thing I did hate,
Ooh,
and one thing I hated about the PS1 VR is that camera. We've discussed this before, but how you had to have that
That's
peripheral
stupid.
camera in front of you to pick up the sticks.
Yep.
And a lot of people made the mistake of putting that camera either on top of their TV or right by their TV. So then you're fighting your TV. So
You're raising your
I
hands
luckily
up.
thought about it, and I stuck mine on the side of my cabinet over here, so I'm playing in my kitchen area.
Okay.
But at the same time, now you don't have that camera, so it's kind of nice. You can actually turn your back to the console and kind of play in your open space, which is decent. But again, you're going to get turned around in VR, and you're going to get spun around. So
That's right.
I
That's why I
hope
don't
they
like the
I hope
wires.
they put at least like a 20-foot cord on the damn thing and don't get you stuck with like a
Yeah.
10-foot cord. At least be able to maybe run it up to your ceiling so you can hang it down over in an open area. So I've seen some nice setups with the VR and the HTC setups where you're plugged in, but they have a huge long cord that goes all the way to the ceiling, and it's on like a little bungee up top. So then when you're over there playing, it's kind of suspended above you and not really in your way.
So
You need
that's
a
the
whole
pic-
dedicated room for that then. at
Yeah,
that point.
exactly. And that's what a lot of people have. It's a VR room.
Yeah,
There's nothing else to it.
It's just,
That's the picture of the HTC, the one that they're releasing.
that
at
was pretty
CES.
slick.
looks like sunglasses.
Right.
A lot of thickness. Yeah.
Did they show a picture of the headband at all? Because I had to change that headband on the
Uh,
Oculus with a quickness.
Let's see here if there's anything else on this. They really didn't. They don't really
Not
have anything
showing
on the
much on it.
Verge. Yeah, I'll see if I
No.
can locate. I'll see if I can
Yeah.
locate a picture here. Pull it up.
Yeah. I haven't
But
used
that,
the Vibe.
that headband on the Oculus thing that goes straight down the front, like that was.
Yeah.
Now they make
See,
some
I-
great aftermarket ones for it.
I don't know that I would care enough now, Quest 2, when I know that I'm going to get a VR2. And it's mostly like for those exclusives. I'm a PlayStation guy. Obviously that's where I'm going to go.
New
I don't know
Resident
that-
Evil.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the VR2, or not the VR2, the MetaQuest. I don't know that if I got a VR2 that I would really need another headset. There's no way I'd have time anyway. Let's be realistic. There would be no need. So I think I'd be pretty satisfied with that, but I can see why somebody's not. They're super into the technology. Like the Quest Pro, it's $1,500. They said it'll cover your needs for everything outside of gaming. And
Right.
they
That's all your
give a 4-year
business needs.
Yes. Yeah, cover everything that you can, which I guess is the metaverse.
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. Something like that, but sounds like it could be cool.
Yep.
Obviously another competitor with the other brands out there. Hogwarts Legacy got delayed, but only for the previous gen consoles and Nintendo Switch, which is interesting.
I got a PS5. I don't care.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like they're paying.
Well-
they're focusing on current gen and PC, which is what
That's
they should be.
exactly.
And so
That's
these
how it
older-
always should be
These
with a
older
new
gen
console.
games require more work, so like delay
Downgrading.
these to make sure that the audience that we want to hit the most is ready for it and it's good to go.
I mean, it's smart, and at least they're letting you know ahead of time. Look, guys, we're
Yeah.
working on it. We want to make it better for these consoles as well. So we're gonna
No
put it off. We're not
Cyberpunk.
gonna we're not gonna pull a CD Projekt Red like Cyberpunk and drop it on you and then try to fix it. We're gonna fix it and then release it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You looking forward to that one, Steven?
Not really.
I mean,
I mean, the way I look at it, like what he just said with the Cyberpunk, right? They should have never released it for PS4. It should have never been
No,
released for
I
Xbox
agree.
One. It should have been a PS5 exclusive release game, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And that's how I played it when I got it. I put it right
Yeah,
on
same.
PS5. Okay. And everybody's complaining about all. I mean, minor sprite glitches and floating players. I mean,
I
you don't have
fell
that
through the
on
map a
everything.
couple of times.
I got a
Ex-
crash like 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was riding on the outside of the car the one time. He was
Nice.
floating alongside when we were going through. So
And I
think-
purposely play games like that to break stuff anyway. Like, I don't know why. I just every time I get into a game, I'm trying to drive cars through walls. Like, can I do this now?
But if they're
Cyberpunk
going to kill
can.
off if they're killing off these consoles, all like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S and all that, you can readily get them now without going
Yeah.
through scalpers.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I've
there's
seen
really no need. We're 2 years in. Stop making games for these old systems unless they're like remake classics that. I mean, the system's all but dead, right? Most people's PS4s are dying anyways.
Well, they gave it, I don't remember if it was a 4 or 5 year plan. So they said, hey, we'll support this with new games. This doesn't mean like third party, limited run, all that stuff. They gave it either a 4 or 5, I can't remember the number, like year plan from them to get all new releases. And I think that I don't think it's a good idea. I think Hogwarts, it sounds like they're doing the right thing and giving it, focusing on PS5 and downgrading from there, which is what they've always done, right? If you got a Super Nintendo game that was multi-platform, you got a Game Boy and an NES game, you would get the downgraded port for those. So I think that's the way to go, and I think it's a way that it should be, like, just kind of always. I get that they don't want to lose that audience. They have like 20 million people already registered with a PS4, but for somebody that's already upgraded or is interested in PS4 games, like they want to play new games on their hardware.
Let me ask you guys something. When for the last 2 years, the PS5 and the Xbox One X has been out, and let's say one of your friends, I mean, obviously we all like to stay up on the latest thing, so we're going to buy it. But all your friends ask, should I buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X? What do you tell them?
I say get a PS5 personally. I mean, I've always been a PlayStation fan myself, but I mean, I'm kind of swinging towards Xbox these days, honestly, because I mean, you got so much more with the Game Pass, and it it's Microsoft based, so you can literally do.
But there's no exclusives on either console that's making you jump from PS4 or Xbox
That's
One.
very true too. And everything that is exclusive is only a year exclusive or like a time deal or some bull stuff like that. And it's like, what's the point of the exclusiveness? If I can play Final Fantasy VII on my Xbox a year later, why am I going to get a PS5 just to play that?
I'm not. Money.
That's right.
That's my point.
I tell them not to. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so if you're Sony or Microsoft, why don't you want to get people on these next-gen consoles that cost more money? Why are you going to try to pump out more games for these older systems? That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I definitely see that point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say the reasoning, but I think focusing on, I mean, it's not next gen anymore, it's current gen, where, that's previous gen at this point. So I think just focusing on that. Look, they can't keep PS5s in the store, so those people that want it and can't buy it right now will buy it, right? And
I mean,
they're
is that still bots though? Is that really still bots getting?
I mean, I've seen a PS5 now like 5 or 6 times just in the past couple weeks in the store. So
and you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing now? They're marking them all as out of stock online because they don't want the bots and the scalpers to get them. But if you walk into Walmart
smart
and you talk to them they have that little cage in the electronics department in the middle. They don't even put any out. If you go to the person behind the counter and say, hey, do you have any Xboxes or PS5s? They're like, yeah, let me check. And they go back and they got like 3 or 4 of them in stock.
Yeah.
And GameStop's the same way. And they will only let you buy like 1 per family. Like you can't go in and
GameStop with their stupid bundle only deals though.
Well, they stopped doing it.
They stopped doing it.
Did they?
Yes. Because I said the
that
same
was
thing
bull crap. They were forcing you to buy that crap extra and you don't want it. I just want the PS5. I don't need the basketball game and all the extra stuff.
Exactly.
I had to do that with my Series X, but it actually worked out the same. It actually worked out better because I got a $100 gift card from them.
So you get the money back on the game.
So I got the money back. So it kind of balanced itself out. But I'm the same way. I don't want this. If I'm gonna buy a dock for my controllers, I'm gonna go buy a good one that's not gonna die in a week. So I feel you.
So what? I gotta ask, what's your favorite console to play, Brandy?
It's always a hard question. It's because I like to play a little bit of everything.
If you got 30 minutes to sit down and play, what would you go to, say, right after you got off the podcast?
Currently, it's a Super Nintendo because I'm going for a full set, a full library.
Nice.
North American library.
Ooh.
I have quite a bit of Super Famicom games already, like a couple hundred of them.
Nice.
Some that are like ports. I guess that they made like English translations and things like that. So I have been getting into that one a little bit more. And then I am getting a PS5 for Christmas, so I'm really hoping that that'll start sparking some of this like new as well. Trying to get back into a little bit more of the new stuff.
Stuff looks so much better on the PS5. I mean, I played on PS4 Pro forever, and I mean, just playing Red Dead on PS5 versus on a PS4 Pro is still night and day on that game. And that game came out, 2018?
But I have them both, but take Far Cry 6, play it on the Xbox Series X, and then play it on a PS5. And I love the PS5. That's like my favorite console. It is so butterly smooth. That game on the Xbox, it blows my mind. Like, I've never seen a character that smooth moving without any frame skipping, tearing in the video. It's unreal.
Yeah, I see the difference too. I mean, the Series X is just more powerful.
For certain games, like I mean, I play with my kids. I play Fortnite a lot with them, and so. But I play that on the PS5, and I think it's a lot better mechanically on the PS5, and that system has become my favorite to play of the new gen. My Xbox kind of collects dust right now, but there are certain games that they just run so much better on the Xbox.
Yeah, I think at this point I've kind of allocated the Series X to being like my Game Pass machine right now. Like I'm collecting like physical PS5. Yeah,
that's kind of why I was leaning towards telling people to go with the Xbox instead, just because you can. I mean, it's $10 and you can
for your money.
$15 you can play. All of it, all of it.
And day one release, new releases.
And that's
Xbox
kind of the kicker there. Really, I think is where they really kind of tip the favor in their scales is when they do that. You pay for the Game Pass, you can play this game on day one when it comes out instead of paying the $60.
All the games though on day one though.
Xbox Studio, they do, right? At least I think so.
I just know because I bought whatever the highest tier is for my son. And
Ultimate,
there's certain games he can't get day one. Like even like I think was it one of the Call of Duties? Like they wanted us to pay for it, and I'm like, isn't that the point of Game Pass? Like,
well, that's not an Xbox Studio game, so that's why. So
okay, yeah.
You're probably not even noticing because there's been like just a few that have came out, but like it's their big game, so it'd be like Crackdown 3 that was like right after around that time. I'm trying to think what else. There's been so few. Forza Horizon, is it 6 or 7? One of those.
He got the new Ghostbusters one day one. I remember that because he beat it in like 4 hours.
Yeah,
I haven't even touched it yet. I got it for PS5 and I haven't even touched it yet.
I think that was like more of the multiplayer appeal on that one versus like
I've got that too.
The single player story thing.
It looks kind of cool though. I mean,
he loves it. He says it's the best one out. So
if he likes that, give him Ghostbusters on NES. I bet he'll.
Hey, he plays Centipede. He plays that.
That's cool for sure. So it looks like we've got a footage that was just leaked for its codename Jade, which is an Assassin's Creed game that is set after the one that's already like actually announced, which is Mirage.
Yeah.
And it apparently shows the Great Wall of China, so people are speculating that this one is finally in China, which
I mean the name kind of tips it off as well with Jade.
Yeah.
Jade Empire. Assassin's Creed.
It's not officially like codenamed that, but that's what apparently was in the leak, and like I guess it said something on the video.
It was a leak.
Yeah.
So this is the Assassin's Creed that's coming out after the next Assassin's Creed?
That's what it sounds
like. Yeah, Mirage is the new one we know about and have like seen trailers and footage for.
So what? Because I'm not sure. What is? Where's Mirage take place at?
Don't have a clue. I can't remember. I don't keep up with the series.
It's still
like we've been to Egypt. We've been all over the place. Europe.
No, I played through Valhalla, but I haven't played through another one since like 2. Yeah. So I
don't know the pattern. You went from ancient Egypt to ancient Greece to a more I think medieval Viking era.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but there we go. Yeah.
That is a long wall.
It looks like Valhalla.
I assume it's gonna play the same like all these current games. Just
sure.
I mean, if it's samurai based, I'll probably.
But it looks like he's on the Great Wall of China, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what they're, was speculating, and I guess whoever read it or somebody named it Jade, and yeah. So I mean, it's obviously legit footage. Like, come on. Yeah, that looks pretty.
Somebody
cool.
shot it with their cell phone though, so they probably are beta testing, and they're not supposed to show it.
Exactly.
So
right. Yeah, I can't even remember when Mirage comes out, but I think it's sometime mid next year. Yeah, that looks really
Assassin's
cool.
Creed start doing hit points? I didn't know they did hit points when you hit people, or is that like an option you can choose?
No. So, do you remember when we talked about when they announced Mirage? Do you remember us like just bringing the news topic up? Mm-hmm. So they're taking it back to like classic Assassin's Creed. So it's got all that stuff on the screen with however it interacts with hitting and the damage and
I mean, that's always been an appeal of mine with those kind of games. I hate just slashing away at something hoping it's dying, you know? Like,
there it is. It's a beta. You can
look at
see
that.
all the
Yeah.
Oh, they did leave the watermark in it. Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody's getting in trouble. His username's all over there.
Look at that, though.
I'm sure he knew and didn't care.
Obviously, it's not actually going to look like that. It looks like a PS4 game right now, but
it says this is an early version of the game. It does not
for sure.
represent the
it
final
takes time.
quality of the product. Yeah.
That's probably like an alpha, I would assume. So we're not even early alpha. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I'm interested in it. I liked Valhalla. Like I said, I haven't followed the series. I think the last one I played was a Black Flag, so I missed all those like origins and all that stuff. But might be pretty cool. Definitely have to check that one out. So here's a pretty big one. This was just announced like 8 or 9 o'clock last night. Epic Games is shutting down over 17 of their games online services.
There's that license we were talking about.
Yep. There goes.
But I was reading this list
Circle.
when you put it out, and to be fair, like I was like, these aren't probably they're probably games that are losing a lot of money with online services. It looks like older games that just don't have a player base to support online.
I don't know. So I forget who it was, but somebody put out like the cost it is to keep some of these. It could be like there might be stuff behind that, but a lot of these most people aren't going to care about. But you know, there's going to be like a kid in the family that's like, hey, let's play Dance Central 3. I haven't played it in a year. Puts the game in. And
Yeah, but I mean, those games still have a base game to it, though, right? I mean, that's not it's not like you have to be online to play a lot of those.
Right.
I mean, like I know the Rock Band games, you have your base songs on the game where you get online, you can add the extra songs.
So what I read on that is that you actually have to connect to their server even when you're playing the game or the music in like 3 and the Beatles and Green Day. You actually it's one of those games where you connect as soon as you start the game before you can play the game. So
that'll make more sense on those. That would suck.
I would assume they're gonna release an update where that's just not a thing. Is this is this based off like games Epic owns, or is this like games on the Epic store?
Yeah, it's I assume it's games that they own. They're shutting down the servers
they own.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the servers that they own. There's probably some kind of tie-in.
At the very least, it'd be nice if they release an update that says you can still play these games as is, but we're not supporting any online services, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, some of these games, like all of the Unreals, require the internet. They're like multiplayer only games.
The Unreal Tournaments and the Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars, like the only ones that stuck out, like these games are kind of unplayable now.
Yeah.
Without like
But hey, we were just playing Unreal on original Xbox.
Yes.
Funny how they're gonna shut it down
to
on.
be fair, these games are 20 years old.
Yeah, like they don't have a lot of people playing these games, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Unreal Gold is from 98, so it's been online since 98. So it's kind of a surprise that that's still running with their server. Like,
come on, you got to keep it going then.
But
It's been going that long.
To be fair,
was that
you talk about
like when they?
What were you saying?
Like when they shut down shit. What was the big MMO game that they shut down the vanilla version of recently, and everybody had like a big funeral for it? Oh my God, World of Warcraft.
No, wasn't
like
it?
Shut the
Halo. Halo they did too.
Oh, did they have one for Halo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can now play again. So
I wonder if they'll have any of those for these older games.
The only like old game.
The 5 people that have them show up.
Yeah, the only old game that I know that still has like a pretty decent following is like Age of Empires 2. It's still getting like new releases, and it's still got it's just a really good core gameplay that is actually being supported. But it doesn't. You can like do your own servers if you need to.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they did for the bulk of its life cycle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that it just becomes a problem with some of these online only games, but this is the lesson to be learned with these games. Like
with online only.
The inevitability. Yeah.
Once the popularity drops, it's gonna be unplayable. But most of these games are kind of like. I guess some of these are the exception, but you're kind of like Call of Duties. You kind of expect when the new game drops, you're just gonna play the new game. It's kind of how they're kind of built.
Yeah.
They don't even allow you to play the old version of Warzone anymore. Like as soon as that new one dropped, it's just boom, here's your update for the new one, and then
it's 100%
that's it.
online. So
yeah, Yeah, that's a bummer. But I mean, what do you expect in those type of games that are pay to play? That microtransactions super heavy on it. Like, what? There's already shut down a PS5 game. What was that? Was that what was the online game that they?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of it.
It was one of the
Yeah,
launch
'cause
games.
Godfall?
Godfall.
Yeah, it was Godfall.
Overwatch
Yeah.
1 also got shut down. So
GameStop was giving away the games. They were like,
Yeah.
it was a collector because they were like, well, we're
This
just
is
gonna throw them
worthless.
out. We were told to destroy them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good coaster. I mean, there's
Yep.
nothing you can do with that disc. So
So
Yeah,
again,
it's
that goes back to our point about physical media, right? You buy
exactly.
it. Is it really that much of an advantage?
Depends
anymore?
on how old you get it.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
it's like if you
I
have
get
the
it.
physical media for a game that requires online servers, the physical media is
Mhm.
kind of pointless except to save some
Right.
downloading.
Yeah, there's been several 360 games that I've picked up. Just flea market. Oh, it's in a stack of this. Let me pick that up.
Got an
And then I'll
update.
get through and looking for it. And like, what was the one? I think it was like Breakout or Breakdown or something for Xbox 360. You can't
Yeah, I
even play it
remember
because
that game.
it's literally online
Yeah.
only, and it's not a server
Can't play
anymore.
it. Yeah. So it's just
Yeah.
like for collecting. If you want to get the whole set, you at least
Exactly.
have it.
Right.
It's just not playable.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's there's a website that dedicates to finding games that have no updates on them. So there's like huge chunk for the Switch that actually doesn't have any updates. I mean, there's a lot of them are like a limited run for PS4. Usually does not have an update. There's been instances where there have, but that's one reason people go heavy into that. There's no update on majority of them. So there is a website. I'll have to find out what it is. Maybe we can put it in the description. But if you're like a hardcore collector, these are the ones to go after. Otherwise, you don't know how long you're sitting on that game. Like, I think it's Godfall or whatever it was.
It was
got
Godfall.
shut down.
Yeah, it was the launch title.
Yeah, that's why
It literally did nothing.
Really had 2 years
was
in the
so
game
crap.
shut down. I'm like,
It's a
I don't even
bad
think it
game.
made the full 2 years. It was the middle of this year when it shut
Yeah.
down. So it made it like a year
That's
and a
right.
half.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we got this one's kind of a cool one. So
Actually,
we have this. Go ahead,
I was
Mark.
gonna say, I actually have Godfall still like sealed like on my drawer that I've never played because I bought it at launch.
Mark, you're the reason that it got shut down because you didn't play it.
It's the reason I didn't play it.
So it wasn't good.
Yeah, I have that too, and I haven't played it either at all. It just I saw what people were saying about it, and
I'll give it
Yeah,
20 years to be
just-
worth some money, maybe. We'll see.
There you go.
I don't know about all that.
Got the seal. You should get it graded. Go ahead and send it to Wada. Get you a grade on it.
I'm not even sure it's fully
Do it.
sealed.
Can't play it. Still sealed. That'd be
So
hilarious.
it looks like
Hey,
we
nice
got
Christmas
a.
pants.
It's not sealed. Sorry.
Thanks.
Ah. Probably GameStop. They
still
opened
get
it
it
even though it
graded.
was new.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like it's unsealed. I never touched it.
Looks like we got a new. I know this has been done before, but this one is by another. I don't know what you want to call them, fan, I guess. Essentially, a new first-person mod for the original Zelda game. So this one is actually taking like the sprites and everything for it, and you're actually playing it in that way. They've done this for a few games, and it's
The Doom
cool
mod.
stuff.
Legends
Yeah.
Doom. I mean, look at it. It looks freaking cool. I would totally play that. They need to make that where I can download it in my Quest.
Now, if
I
only,
want-
do we
I
actually
bet they
get
will.
the-
Oh, now you're thinking that would be sweet.
Right?
I would
Really,
so
really
play
cool.
that. I would
Yeah.
buy that again. See, darn you, Nintendo. Darn you.
So can I play the original Legend of Zelda with the actual Doom music? Just
That would be cool.
or at least in the dungeon.
I mean, it even has like the Doom, the menu and stuff down at the bottom, like the Doom
Right.
head and everything.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I would totally play the hell out of that. That's awesome. I would
Yeah,
sit
that-
friends down and make them play that. I'm like, dude, sit down
Heck yeah.
and put this headset on real quick.
Heck yeah. I'd be all over that. Did you see this online multiplayer too?
I mean, in the
What?
land of trash games they have on the Quest, I would play that over a lot of them.
How do you
Yeah,
make that
for real.
multiplayer?
Ooh.
Well, like you could go in there and just do like everybody's link, and you're in these labyrinths and you're going after each other. That would
Just
be a lot
like
of fun.
shooting arrows.
yeah,
And fireballs.
like a
Yeah,
straight
why
up,
not?
like a Doom map. Yeah.
Like yeah, exactly, like a Doom map. You go through and yeah,
I guess it makes sense.
why not?
Sweet. That was always- that was a
that's
fun one,
pretty
though.
cool.
I was looking into that one. I was like, I like that. They need to do something with that. I could definitely VR that somehow.
Yeah, really cool.
I mean, if I can play Virtual Boy in my MetaQuest, why can I not do that?
I mean, that'd make me want to play it for sure.
Yeah, right.
So it looks like Ubisoft is running a couple pretty good sales. I was going to point out a few on here I thought were pretty good deal. We got Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope already down to 40. Just came out last month.
I was about to say, isn't that the newest one that came out?
Yeah. That
How are those games? I've heard they were more like a tactics based,
Love
like
it.
turn-based tactics. I need to try it. I mean, I like that style of game, but I still haven't just popped one of those in yet.
Garbage.
I'm not a fan of that style, but I
like the heat.
Mario.
I like.
Oh, come on!
It's garbage. If I could throw it away, bring it back and throw it away again, I would.
Oh,
damn!
That's why it's on clearance, because nobody likes the game.
Fire!
It's god awful. And I'm a Mario fan, but it's god awful.
It's not a Mario game, not to me.
I don't.
It's
not. I don't
You're
like
right.
those
You're 100%
kind of games.
right. But it's
got a Mario skin on it. It's like an XCOM game essentially is how it plays.
It's like a beginner's level type of strategic RPG, but it's got a cool story. Yeah, so look, there's Mirage for pre-order, $150. That's a collector's case.
But you probably don't get the game, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, probably
definitely
not.
not. You got to buy that
Probably
deluxe
not.
edition to get the game.
So you're spending, about $220 with tax, and you'll get the game
Yeah,
and the
right.
cool statue.
Little ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy. Some of these I don't know what like sale prices normally run, but they are doing $10 off your total order with the code holiday 22 or holiday 2022. 22. Okay.
So
sorry,
I
got
will
there.
say Skull and Bones is awesome. If you like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry style, you will love Skull and Bones, because my son and I, we got to beta test this
Mm-hmm.
about 6 months ago. And this, I mean, even in beta and alpha, it was really awesome. Like, they reached out, and except for the watermarks all over the screen, my son hated that. But the gameplay and everything. But if you like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, you'll love this game.
I just love being a pirate, man. I mean, me and my kids have been playing Sea of Thieves a lot here lately. Like, we really started diving into Sea of Thieves, and I know that game's been out forever, but I just started playing it. They seen me playing. They're like, "What do you got?" And I started showing them. So then they had to get their Xbox out, and then we all started playing it. So like, just being a pirate's always fun. So I could definitely get into that.
That one I think looks pretty cool. I've been interested in that too.
I don't want to go off talk, but you brought up being a pirate, and for whatever reason, I don't know if any of you watch Flash Kids though.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it.
They did do like something with the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, and it just devolved into like this mob dressing him up as Jack Sparrow and just mobbing him over to the Disney studios. I don't know. I just popped it in. I was like, oh, that's funny. Sorry.
Check that out.
Some random shit that's popping in my head.
Oh, you're good, man. That's what we do. It looks like a couple of these are pretty decent deals, though. Ghost Recon Future Soldier. I don't know anything about some of these, but we've got Far Cry 6 at $20, 1980. Riders Republic, which I actually think is a kind of pretty cool game. It's like a open world extreme sports game. The best way I can explain it.
It's like the only game on here that I don't know.
Yeah, that was one of the first PS5 games.
That
kinda
Anno
cool.
1800 game is pretty good if you've never played those games.
Yeah, we got that at 1980, so that might be worth checking out.
It's like 60%.
I did read on there you got to spend at least $20 to use that promo code. So as long as you're spending at least $20, you spend $20 and you can use Holiday 22 for $10 off. But the kicker is, I think like a lot of the games they put on there, they're just under that $20 mark. So you got to buy like at least 2 games.
Yeah.
To get that discount.
That is some BS though, but what do you
smart
expect?
marketing on their part, but like damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for like these prices, I'm like, $25-$30, you get like 3 games. I'm like, I can't argue a whole lot with it with the amount of games you're gonna get for under $30. If you like spaced, if you bought based on how much they cost, if you did it right, you probably get a good 3-4 games for $30.
The sad thing is, even with all these deals out, all the new stuff coming out, I'm probably just gonna start streaming Red Dead again.
Did any of you
I
guys
love playing Red Dead.
Did you buy the Rainbow Six Extraction?
No, I got it. It was on Game Pass though, so I tried it.
Trash.
I don't think I got
Pure trash.
Is it the same?
I heard
Is
a
it
lot
the
of bad
same
stuff.
game as when they did the Extraction Special Edition on Siege like 2-3 years ago?
I don't know nothing.
It's
about it.
like you go in with teams of 3, but here's
Yeah.
the thing. Let's say the 3 of us played. Let's say you couldn't make it one day, and I play with somebody else. My progress starts over again.
Oh,
That is.
And the only way I can
Sounds
get back to
terrible.
that progress is if the 3 of us play again.
Oh, what?
Wow.
That's how trash it is.
Yeah,
like
that's
I'm
some
like,
BS.
why would you do that? Like
That doesn't
if you
make
could,
sense.
if you couldn't be there and I wanted to play with Brandon or something, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to start all over at the beginning of the game again.
Yeah, you should
That's
your
wild.
individual progress should be saved.
So
It's like
That's wild.
that's like retro gaming right there. That's what it sounds
they
like.
hyped this game up. I was so excited for it because I like Siege and whatnot, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I bought the deluxe edition. My son downloaded on because we were gonna play it. He had it on Game Pass. He's like, Dad, this is terrible. I'm like, yeah, it really is.
That's such a
It's-
letdown.
It's
'cause
awful.
So
when
bad.
They had this special on Siege. I thought it was a really fun game mode that they had on there. So like, are you gonna expand on this? Oh, that's pretty dope. Back when I still
Yeah.
played Siege.
Disappointment.
Yeah,
Even for $20, I wouldn't recommend people picking that up. You're gonna be disappointed.
That is
Highly
disappointing.
I was disappointed at free, so
Yeah, well, yeah.
Can I get my money back? You didn't pay for it. So
It's not even. It's gonna be one of them ones they'll give you eventually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
probably yeah. And it was a pretty large download too. I was disappointed on waiting on that.
I deleted it. It's up on my shelf.
Got to be on that PlayStation Free Pass probably a couple months.
That one I deleted as well. I knew I wasn't going back to that at all. That was terrible.
That's
So it looks
kinda
like we've yeah, for sure. Looks like we've got 21 games here at launch right now for PSVR. We've got VR Football Unleashed All-Star, After the Fall, Alter Breaker, Cities VR, which is cool. I haven't seen them do anything with that series in forever. Cosmonus High, Demio, Dyschronia, Chronos Alternate.
I can't say it. I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Fantavision 20XX, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, which I saw a little bit about that. It's just a spinoff of like that, those games.
It's like Hello Neighbor
Horizon-
VR.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, essentially. Horizon Call of the Mountain.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
I haven't
That's
seen
supposed to
anything
be-
on that.
I
That's
actually
supposed to
have
look
it right here. I'm gonna play
amazing.
it.
Oh
I'll play
yeah,
it
it's
there.
the
Yes.
it's what they announced
Yes.
at the Game Awards. It's like a VR version of Horizon.
Like I think they
Oh,
have.
yeah. Okay,
I think
yeah.
they have like a small VR version, like a mini game kind of thing you can do in VR now with Horizon. But no, this is
It's
gonna
its
look
own
awesome.
VR like design. 'Cause that game is not designed to be played in
Yeah,
VR.
it's actual.
Correct. This is actually
Game in the series.
designed for the VR.
I would buy this game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
For sure.
100%, hands down.
My only complaint is the special edition VR2 only comes with a download code.
You sound
can-
surprised
Yeah.
by that.
I know.
Yeah, I
I
mean-
shouldn't be at this point. But again, so my one complaint with this and being in VR is give me some freaking arms. I'm so tired of seeing the hands out there. Like you
But
put
do you
so much into
feel-
these games.
Do you feel it's worth the $4.99 price tag they put on it? And I know you haven't touched it. Nobody's touched it. But
That's a
didn't
cheap
that
price tag.
shock you? $4.99? Like the same price as a PS5?
Well, it's more than that.
No, it is more than
It's
that.
five-
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
yeah, it was
$5.49 for the
$5.50
base.
$5.49.
with
Okay.
with the special edition version that comes with the download code. You know, it comes with the box and everything for this game. It was like $660.
That's
I
too
think
much. That's
Yeah.
too much for that when you
That's-
can get a
it's a little
Wild.
ridiculous.
I
meta.
don't know.
But I mean, the upgrades they're saying they're having with it. You know, you get haptic feedback in the headset. You get 4K screen for each eye. It's got eye tracking on it.
So you get a headache now on top of the motion sickness. Got it.
right.
Got
But
it.
Pile it
ultimate-
on, man.
The ultimate immersion.
Tony, my question is, with you saying that you don't do anything with the first one, is it going to be a shell form or two?
Of
Like-
course.
Yep.
I got 2 kids and a full-time job. I don't got time to do shit.
Yeah, that's a tall ask for that price.
I'll play
That is
it. I'll play it enough to be like, this is cool or this sucks, and then I'll put it down.
No, I was gonna say
There's-
this next game that's on this list. I was like, I saw it, like, all right, I'm sold. This is why I'm bound to VR.
Mm.
Ooh.
Which one are we looking at?
What is it, Mark?
Oh,
What you have on the list?
It's on Brandon's list. The Kazuna-i Touch the Beat.
See if I can find it here.
Pull that one back up.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Kazuna-ee, I think it is Touch the Beat. So it's like a rhythm type.
If you've ever played those, because you know who she is, the original
right back just a sec.
VR VTuber. It's one of those rhythm games essentially.
Right.
How it's gonna work in VR, I'm not really sure. But
so is it what, like one of the drumming style games, or is it more of like a?
If it's like the other games that they've had in their series, it's kind of like you have like certain.
That one right there.
You got
this one here, Cosmonius.
No, it's the Touch the Beat Kazuna-i.
Let me see here.
I don't know. It would have like a Asian look. I don't even know if it's on that list or not.
They might not have it on as a video to look at. I was pulling up.
But normally it's kind of like you've got different, like, because the one I played it was on the Vita. So you have those 4 symbols on the like your 4 PlayStation symbols. They would kind of come out of like random areas. You have to like time it up as you like hit them.
Okay,
That's kind of how they've kind of played those games before. But there's different types of rhythm games if you ever got into them.
So it might be like this comes in from the side and then you hit it with the thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Beat Saber style, possibly.
But yeah, it's essentially if you have terrible rhythm, you're not gonna have a good time.
Good thing being a drummer, I could probably handle that one.
Yeah.
Got all the rhythm.
And Step 2. I know there were some other games. It's what Moss 2 Book 2.
So I heard a lot of good things about the original Moss. I didn't play it myself, but I've heard so much good stuff about it. And the fact that everybody was complaining that it was such a short game, they wanted it to be longer.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing I played on there.
What kind of game was it? Out of curiosity.
It's kind of like a you're almost in the corner and you're controlling the mouse. Like you're almost like a godlike being, I guess, and you're controlling the mouse around the map. It's kind of like this right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Moss.
Yeah.
Like
but it works really well and it looks really good in VR.
Yeah, that's what they were saying was like the controlled scheme worked like perfectly with the VR and it felt natural versus.
So now we have Stray, so you get to control a cat, and now you've got Moss, the mouse.
Got to combine the games.
Cat and mouse.
To be fair, this one did come out like 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about Moss a while ago. I just never played it or really looked into it.
I like the Resident Evil games in VR.
Yes.
You want to sweat?
Yeah.
You want to get
That's some
immersiveness
there.
I guess that's good because you got the Village coming to VR for it as well.
Yep, you do that.
Yep.
Man. It's wicked.
Yep, launch day, Village, the VR mode for Village comes out, so that's really cool.
Brandon, you gonna get that PSVR and play some No Man's Sky in VR for us?
So yeah, that was the next one. Yeah, I mean I am going to get. I've already said that. I'm fine with just having one unit, and if I got one, it would be on PlayStation for me. So
look at that.
I don't.
Couple days after my birthday.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, No Man's Sky, man, that could be interesting.
I got into a situation where I just kept getting spawned by these robotic enemies. I don't remember what they're called. Like you fight them and then I just couldn't get away. Yeah, they just kept coming. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like using so many resources to like recharge my ship's shield. It was bad. It's like a whole 30-minute ordeal. It's terrible.
Some of those games though that like have a VR mode like attached to it way after the game's been out.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It seems like it's just a push for people to go back to the game, maybe that put it down when it failed. Probably. Essentially when it launched, like.
But it feels like a different game, to be fair. If it, like I
now it does, yes.
It's like a totally different game. Even though this is Resident Evil 4, when you're playing it in VR, it feels like you're playing a completely different game.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only thing I played on the Quest is this. Went over to my buddies when this came out and tried it out. And, oh my lord, it works. It works so good.
You know, do what they did with like Skyrim VR, where they just forced the regular game with VR to like this looked like happening.
Oh my god, that was trash.
That was bad. That was so bad. That's embarrassing that Bethesda would do that.
It's embarrassing.
What they do those Resident
like
Evil ones right
times. What are they embarrassed about?
We had.
I know at least with this one they built this VR mode like
they built the game for
it. The game for it. It is the assets, but they built the game. Everything's, the resolution is up, the frame rate is up. It looks not completely different, but it is its own game. So
we had my sister-in-law was over for New Year's last year, and we had her do the PSVR because they wanted to see what it was like. We had her play Resident Evil. And I remember when she went up to the attic and the one crazy lady with the chainsaw bust through the. I thought darn near she jumped clear across the room. Like it was like we saw it on the TV.
It's
my
scary.
goodness.
She's like, I try to run away.
She's like, okay, I'm done. She goes.
Oh, there's been some good videos of like the Resident Evil VR with like your grandma's playing it. She just starts freaking out. I was like, that's funny.
See, I like this too, the Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If they do that right, the Star Wars is always a good go-to.
As long as it doesn't make you sick like the first one did.
That Battlefront one that they did, that was not good.
What was the one where you're flying around? They released.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Battlefront.
No, it wasn't Battlefront. It was.
No, it was.
No shit, I got it over here.
It had the TIE fighters on the front with the
it's basically like
squadrons.
Squadrons. Yeah, so you're literally flying around the whole time. Instant sickness for me.
Yeah, I can't even play.
Yeah,
that's when y'all were talking about No Man's Sky in VR earlier. I played that in VR, and it is amazing. I give that game so much credit for VR because it really does bring up how large scale like the planets and the creatures and stuff are on there. But as soon as I leave the ground with my jetpack in VR, it is instant sickness. I'm like, nope, gotta turn this off. Can't do it.
Yep.
Like I can run around and check everything out on the planet just fine, but as soon as I leap with my jetpack, I just feel it. Like I'm in my chair doing like this.
The roller coaster ones.
Yeah.
The roller coaster ones. You're sitting there and they're like, "Did that make you sick?" Yes, it did.
I love that.
Do not change it.
that one I actually have not played.
Oh yes, the horror.
What's that called? It's
that was
a spin-off of
Blood something.
Yeah, the subtitle was like Blood of. It's like a carnival.
How far did you get in that one, Brandon? Did you play all the way through?
I finished it. Yeah, I've
did.
never even played any of the other games.
I made it to like we got to the pig level. I think it was like level 3 or 4. Like it's got all the pigs and stuff hanging around. You like going through the pig's mouth. That shit was so weird.
It was weird, but it worked.
Mannequins.
It worked. What was that?
It was like the mannequins for me.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember that one.
It's like the jump scare thing. Like the things that just you look away and then you turn back. You look away and then you turn back, and then it gets you.
That one's it is creepy.
This is a freaky Resident Evil one, The Village, right?
Yeah, that one's coming to VR too.
Yes, with
A1.
Mommy.
Yeah,
and see, like in the cutscenes, you had arms, but in the gameplay, you don't. And that's the one thing that really cuts me out of VR is like, at least give me some arms up to a body. Like I don't necessarily have to have a body, but like give me up to a shoulder at least. That way I look at my arm and see it there.
Maybe they're gonna do that in VR too.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would be a game-to-game basis with that.
Yeah,
I was checking on here, so I didn't play the Squadrons VR, but I was right about this. I remember when they did this. Star Wars Battlefront 2 did have a VR mode, and they launched that alongside the launch of the VR one. That was the one I was thinking of. I didn't even know Squadrons.
Might have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, Squadrons came out within the last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this says
it was like exclusively for VR, pretty much.
The Battlefront one is called X-Wing VR Mission. So that was the one I tried, and it made me. I didn't get sick, but it was terrible. It didn't look good.
Check that out. What is that you got playing?
This is another VR. The
Demio. Oh, that's right. I remember. I think I downloaded a demo for that for the PS1 VR, but I never actually played it. But I love that card-based style gaming like that on the like a board game.
Yep.
Tactics. Like that's cool. I might actually give that.
I've just been trying to play any of the videos that he talked about as launch titles that they have videos
for sure.
Those style games are always fun in VR because it's different. Like you think VR and a lot of times you want to be that first person VR with your arms swinging around hitting shit, but like those games like that where you're actually just chill back and you're like looking down on the world and you're controlling stuff on the map or the board and like moving stuff around like the God mode style like that. I really enjoy those games.
That's what it does, like with that game, the God mode type thing, that depth that you get, you feel like you're right there, but you're obviously not in first person.
Oh yeah, look at that No Man's Sky. That's gonna look so good on that PSVR too.
Oh, the hands. We got the hands.
Oh, look at the ship coming out with the guns.
I hope they do it justice. I hope it.
But I do want them to make
good.
it. And I know I just seen when he started the video, you do the teleport movement. I do not like that shit at all. Like I don't want to have to point somewhere and click, and then my character's
so, like, add
over there.
actual,
Like
joy controllers on the actual whatever they're using for the controls.
I want to be able to like at least use some thumbsticks or something to walk.
Yeah, that's what you had to do with the original VR. You didn't have that option with the joystick, so you had to have that jump or use like a regular controller on some stuff.
Do we care
the move
about
controller.
Do we care about The Walking Dead?
What
I enjoyed The Walking Dead for a while. I'm so done with it at this point.
Yeah, I got so burned out on that one forever.
Like trailed off.
I'll play it briefly here because
I mean it's almost like the Harry Potter thing, you know. Like I feel like they missed the mark by about 10 years on that. I mean, I enjoyed the Harry Potter series. I think it's going to be a fun game, but I really feel like it would have done better 10 years ago. I mean, obviously it's going to look better now, but
we didn't have the VR 10 years ago to do it with. I get what you're saying.
Not impressed with the graphics on this.
I was just gonna say
it doesn't look good.
Really cartoony.
It looks like some day one VR kind of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it looks like you've got full arms, so
because they had is this Saints and Sinners? Is that what it is? They're just like kind of upgrading it for the VR.
That game's terrible game.
The mechanics, and I'm not playing it here, but just by seeing how his hands are, the mechanics look bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks like a forced VR mode, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like when it's a game that wasn't, I assume this one wasn't designed around it because it looks terrible.
No, this is the VR 2. This is designing it.
This is the
so this is like a game design. It's not like a VR mode.
Yeah, this is Saints and Sinners.
Dang. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's a game with a VR
Chapter
mode.
2. Okay, this was Chapter 2.
Chapter 2 Retribution.
I don't know, guys.
It looked pretty rough. It looked pretty rough.
This one I think sounds pretty cool. Swordsman VR.
Okay. This is Firewall Ultra.
Firewall was a great game in VR.
Yes, it is. Yeah, excellent.
That was actually one of the first ones I played with the PlayStation VR, and I was impressed by it a lot.
Did you play it with the gun?
Yes. Yeah, I got the aim.
Nice.
What was the one you said, Brandon? I'll see if they have a video of it.
Swordsman VR. That's one of the others there on the. Yeah.
Yeah. See how see the difference it makes just having those little bit of hands and arms right there.
Yeah.
No Tyrannosaurus Rex arms.
Oh my lord, this one might be cool. I know people are really loving this series. I've got one of them and haven't played. I think it's like made a medium, but it's Dark Pictures Switchback VR, which is its own game as well. It's not like a VR mode.
I'm interested to see if they have the actual finger tracking like they do on the Oculus. How you lightly touch the button, your finger moves, and then you completely compress it, and then your finger moves all the way in.
It's like a pressure type deal with it, right? That way it detects your. I think they said that's on, and I think that was one of the bigger things they talked about, having like that, giving you that more in-depth control where you feel like you're doing that with
instead of just like a button for your hand to close. It's like it's actual like individual finger. Finger tracking on the buttons.
Because you said something, I was like, I want a VR game. I just want to be like a T-Rex and just be a first-person T-Rex.
Hey.
There you go.
That game actually looked really good too. They do have some really good army-looking games in VR.
Yeah.
A few more to mention here. These two I haven't seen anything right here. The Light Brigade, and then we've got the Tale of Onagoro and Tentacular.
Are there tentacles? Those ones. Last one.
Yeah. Yeah, Tentacular. I guess that's how that would be said.
Sorry.
Those ones
I know, Brandy. You said you played the roller coaster game in VR. Did you ever play much else in there?
Not a whole lot.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was trying to pull this up.
I didn't really play like a whole lot on it. I mean, I have it. It's like right here. It's kind of more like a shelf piece too, but.
See, we talked about.
Yeah.
It really is though.
So there's a lot of different stuff you can do though. Like now there's updates you can do, which is actually really nice. It's like side quest and side load. You can load games into it without actually having to hook it up to your PC. A lot more third-party games and stuff. A lot of really good third-party games on there as well.
I go into Zoom calls with it.
Right. Yeah. Like people use it for conferencing and stuff. Like I went into one of the meta worlds that they have on there, and I was talking to some of the developers, and they're like, "Yeah, we're working right now." I'm like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "Yeah, we're on the job. We're in our meta world right now, just working on bugs and kinks and just how you like it." And they started talking to me about the game. I'm like, "Well, I just got it here, so I don't really know yet."
Dude,
but I mean, it's really cool. Like the the reach that it has beyond just video games itself.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Have you heard of Big Screen on there at all? Has anybody heard of Big Screen on there? So it's an app you can download.
Movies?
Yes, it's an app you can download, and you literally sit in a theater, and somebody can stream a movie through their headset or PC or whatever, and you can watch the movie in the theater with like 15 people. And it's got 3D movies.
Cool.
Like you can watch Thor in 3D on your MetaQuest headset sitting on your couch.
I sit there and I can control my PC with it.
Yeah.
So I put it on the screen, and then you could I have multiple screens, so then I have them in the virtual world. It's the
You set up your whole office. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I was working on that, but it got a little too in depth for me. I was like, damn, this is
but it's
crazy.
Cool, though. It is cool the way that you can do that. I'm curious though, with the new ones that are coming out, are they going to force you to go to the more expensive $1,500 ones like the Pro in order to play these higher end games that are
no, from what I've read about the Pro, that is mainly based on like a business aspect of it. So that's going to be more for like your creative design
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Gives you like an AR designing
metaverse
tools and stuff like that, right? And they're actually coming out with a MetaQuest 3. I think it's going to be called the 3 if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be the next gaming version of their headset coming out. So they're basically making it where you have like your PC version of it and then your gaming version of it. I don't know if they're going to really mix it that much because $1,500. Nobody's going to pay $1,500 for a gaming headset. Like that's crazy.
That's ultimately what killed Google Glass. I used to have Google Glass, and I had it for almost like a year and a half, and then I got wind that they were shutting it down, so I sold it off to another developer. But it was that very thing. Like it like you could have everything right there in your peripheral vision, and then to have VR, it just takes it to a whole nother level. It's like I'd rather have that.
But that's where the MetaQuest Pro was really going from what we were reading into it. The tech specs on it were mainly business aspects, and it has a lot of the augmented reality stuff. So like, you're in your home or in office settings and showing people this and that.
Yep. Yeah, that one's definitely like towards the metaverse, like business and development and all that type of stuff. So
the cool thing about it is though, if you get that kind of hardware into people's hands that can build games with that hardware, so then you've got people using that headset to build games for the actual gaming headset. So your games could be way better. I mean, there's so much trash shovelware on the headsets. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, there's so much bad stuff out there. You'll spend 3 hours searching through stuff just to find a decent game.
But like the eShop.
If you put it in developer mode, I don't know if you ended up doing that with your. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can find a lot of cool, useful applications and applets that people develop that you can put on there that do really cool stuff. So
like
I haven't done it. It's
way more than just a gaming headset if you open it up.
Yes, you should do it if you haven't done it. It's not hard. You just
developer mode's really, really easy to do.
Yep. It opens up a whole new world.
I've
changed the resolution on it, like all kind of stuff with it.
That's pretty cool. The general consensus is that the Quest 2 is just overall better than the PSVR, right? The first one.
Oh yes, yeah. If you're based in PS1 VR versus Quest 2, hands down Quest 2.
Yeah, I can see that.
Once you change the headset, after you change the headset on it.
Whatever happened to that Steam one? Do you guys remember that? That just like fell off the face of the earth. Steam.
They knew better.
Or what? Valve. Was it Valve that made the VR?
I mean, Valve owns Steam.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so they made their own VR.
I think it's the Valve. God.
I can search it up.
The Valve it was a headset, and then they had the HTC Vive. That was the two PC headsets going against each other, I believe.
And that was like the
wasn't it? Am I saying that wrong? I could be wrong.
It's the Valve Index.
Valve Index. There you go.
The problem's going to be for HTC is because they're not as big as like a Facebook, and they're not as big as Sony. So all those two platforms, in my opinion, are going to have the best titles that you could possibly get, right? So I think guys that are enthusiasts for VR are going to own them both, just like you would own both consoles, Xbox and PlayStation, right?
True.
So HTC, I don't know personally if I would waste my money on something like that, only because
the support,
and even though the hardware might be better, that doesn't necessarily mean the games that you're going to have access to or any of the applications are going to be better. So
right, if the developers aren't putting it out there for it.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. What good is hardware if you don't have the games for it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the way I kind of look at it. So I'm kind of in the boat of
that gives me the
I want
vibes
the
of like a
PS2.
Stadia.
Exactly. Exactly. So you kind of sit there and go, well, if I
That
can't
poor
get the
Stadia.
titles for it, like why would I buy it?
Yeah, right.
Like there's
Yeah.
no point.
I still feel like a lot of, like the bigger part of the market, the issue with VR is still seen as like this niche thing.
Right.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ever.
And it
gonna
very
catch
much
the
is.
mainstream. But it's just so
It
it's
is.
such an expensive add-on to what you already have.
Well, then
It
I'll go ahead
is.
and tell you right now, there's nothing worse than getting into a game that's like a multiplayer game, and you hear a bunch of 12-year-olds screaming their heads off playing VR, and it's like, dude, you're not even supposed to be on this thing.
What's the one VR chat that everybody does? I see
VR
all the
chat's a big
weird,
one, yeah.
wacky
VR chat's
stuff.
probably like one of the biggest VR because you don't have to be in VR to play it. So
Right.
tell
you
you.
can do that from anywhere.
Oh.
yeah.
I want to get one of these in the new year here. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called Cat
Yes.
VR.
I've seen them.
Huh.
I've actually I had a friend that
Oh,
was
I love that
connected
with the okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they
that-
they had
had-
one of these. These things are wild, dude. Like if you've not played VR until you use one of these things. It's like again, it changes the game. They're expensive, but
Yeah.
What's the price on it? I see it says you can pay up to so many.
yeah,
I'd say
it's
like
like
Gs.
yeah, it's like a $2,000 thing. I mean, they're
Oof.
expensive. Like they're UK based.
And
I've
and a
heard of those,
dedicated
though. Right here.
space for that.
Yeah.
1,200. The C2 is like $1,000.
You know,
It's
you
not
say a
bad
dedicated
considering.
space. It is a little bit of a dedicated space, but you would probably use less space having that there because you
Yes.
actually
Yeah,
are
you're not
able to
running.
walk around with that machine and stay in the
Gotcha.
same spot versus like having an actual headset on, then you take 3 steps to the left and all of a sudden you're punching a wall.
And
Yeah.
Right.
like the
That
Iron
makes
Man
sense.
game, like there's times where you fly, you can actually like lay and it suspends you on
Oh,
this
shit.
device.
Huh.
Oh
So
my
it would
god.
really
Wow.
put
You
you
better give
in
me
that.
does it have a barf bucket attachment?
Yeah. Right.
You're probably gonna need that.
I just thought it was real. Like they have special shoes for it, so you can actually
Yeah,
run in
the
your
skid
VR.
shoes,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's wild.
I've seen a couple of those videos where like the companies have those in like the big room, and you've got like 5 or 6 people playing like the zombie game, and the one dude just turns and he starts bolting on the thing. Like,
They have like sensors too that you can put on your ankles, around your waist, and yeah, like for the whole. You got to watch
a
a
full-
YouTube
full
video
body
on it
tracking?
after the podcast. You got to watch YouTube. Yeah, it's wild.
I wonder if you
That's-
like lose touch of like you just get so immersed into it, or like.
Yep.
Like quick
Sword Art
question for
Online.
everyone.
Mhm.
When you guys first played VR, whatever it was on, did anyone here get sick?
Yes.
Yeah, the
On the
Famicom
PlayStation.
3D. It made me sick. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't get sick.
so it depends on the game. If I was in a static game where like my character's walking around and I'm sitting down playing it, I'm fine. Driving games usually made me sick. Like I played Driver in VR, or not Driver. What is it? Drive Club VR.
Drive Club, yeah.
And I had the steering wheel and the gas pedals and my little swivel chair here. And I was telling you, I believe we were talking about this on the last podcast, but I would go around turns. You know, my chair would turn sideways and I'd be turning the steering wheel. Oh my God, I'd get so sick.
Like
So sick.
Astrobot, you could play Astrobot, and not get
Oh,
sick.
all day.
I never.
Yeah.
That's a fun game. but
All
I-
day.
I
That game is
never-
great.
I never got sick on that, but like he's saying, like certain games, like the roller coaster you can get,
Mhm.
and there's a few other ones that are like flying type games, like Iron Man. Oh,
It's a
good
Top
Lord.
Gun VR thing.
5
don't know if it's
minutes
like
and
a
you're
full-
like ready to hurl because
Yep.
they said something about it has to do with the resolution and refresh rate. It's not fast enough for what your
Mhm.
eye can see, and that's some people have they're sensitive and they can
Sensitive,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah, so the PSVR 1 was really bad with that. The MetaQuest
Yes.
2 really deleted a lot of that.
Yes.
Some games still get me from time to time, but I can play a lot more in the Quest 2 than the PSVR for sure.
So, Tony, how much time have you like actually spent with VR? Because it's been limited on both things. I think all I played is Resident Evil 4
Mhm.
on the Meta, and then a couple of the ones like you said, Iron Man. I tried that. Just some
So
of the basic.
I would say
ones.
it's probably maybe 100 hours total in the PSVR. Probably less than that in the Quest because, like I said, as soon as I got that, I played like 4 or 5 things and opened it up developer
Right.
mode, played around with that for maybe a week or two, and then my son stole it, and I haven't gotten it back. He just plays
Yeah.
Gorilla Tag all day and Rec Room.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to actually like getting into one where I feel like you just get more immersive with it because that takes you out with the VR one when you
Mhm.
see the resolution buffering and
Did-
everything going on.
Did
with
you
that.
play any of the Star Wars? I don't want to call them games, but you
Demos.
can't die.
The episodes.
The episodes, dude.
Yes.
You feel like you're in the movie with it.
Yes, it does. It does make you feel a little more immersed in that. Like when the very first, I think it's the first episode when Darth Vader walks up to you and you're like
standing there looking at
oh shit, like
whoa,
good God. Yeah, no,
that's cool.
Yeah, those are really cool. And they give you a body in there as well, you know, so it's not like you're just hands floating around there. So when you're flinging that lightsaber around, it really feels like you're kind of working on it.
Even the fact of like hooking your weapons on your belt.
Yes. Yeah, being able to reach down and grab one.
Or pressing a button, or you physically push your hand forward.
I will say I think one of the best weapon changes I've played in any VR game so far is on the PS1 VR, and it was on the launch title. Can't think of it now, but it came with the actual zapper gun or the little aim controller. But you would literally take the aim controller, you throw it over your back, and when you pull it back in the game, your gun changes to the shotgun. Or you pull it back and you come back out and it changes to the machine gun. So that was like one of the coolest like weapon change things. Yeah, you could bring it down by your side and then you pull up a pistol. So like over the back is your two primaries, and then your sidearm on the side you pull it down. So that was really neat. You know, that was some developer stuff that you don't really see a whole lot nowadays on.
That was like that demo pack-in thing, right? With the when it first came out.
It wasn't a demo. It was an actual game. Okay. I can't for the life of me think about it. Mars something maybe, but it came with the actual. You would get the headset separate, and this was like a game that came with the actual aim assist gun.
I'll tell you what I want to try though, and I hope that they bring it over because you talked it up a lot. Worlds for sure. I want to try that, and then what's the other one? Dreams.
Dreams for PlayStation Dreams. That game right there, it's really cool. It's just like people can go and develop their own games and play it, and then they have a VR version of it also. So
Worlds is the one you were talking about, and then I meant Dreams, the one where you make the games. So
what do you mean? I think Worlds is what the Horizon Worlds.
No, there's the first pack-in bundle was PlayStation Worlds. That's what it was called. I think that's the one you were talking about just now, right?
I
don't know. There must have been a bunch of them. There's an ultimate PS.
It wasn't a pack-in. Like I said, you would get the game. This was separate. It was.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry,
Iron
I misunderstood.
Iron Man was a pack-in title.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get Iron Man. I think you could get a Skyrim bundle.
Shit,
there were some other bundles that you could get with it, but this was a separate game that came with the aim assist controller.
Okay.
It was the first game that came with that controller.
Interesting.
Can't think of it. I got it right here on the shelf. I could probably grab it. But...
my bundle came with the Iron Man, and it came with the Move controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That one's always sitting in the stores. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure looking forward to the VR 2. I think it's a high price tag, but
it is.
It could be worth it. It's a big asking on the price. So.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll ask.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
One of the few things they actually got the pre-order for.
Yeah. You got your PS5 relatively quick too, right?
Day one, baby.
Got that one 3 days after.
I got so lucky. We were watching the preview for the PS5 at work, and then it ended probably about an hour before I got off work, and I was calling my buddy because we got word that they were going to release them after the preview, but they didn't say anything. So I'm like, hey, what's up with these pre-orders? And he's like, oh yeah, the pre-orders are live, and he works at the mall. And I'm at GameStop at the mall, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm on the way. He's like, don't come here. All the employees already got them. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, yeah. So I was on my way home. I was like, screw it. One more GameStop on the way home. Stopped in. Got lucky.
That's cool. I waited on the Series X. I waited just for the pre-order day. I waited like 6 hours in line, which I'll never do that again. I'll just wait. Never.
I didn't wait for that.
That was just a pre-order.
I didn't even do that with the PS5. I had a guy that watched my show, believe it or not, and I was talking about I'm not pre-ordering this. I'm not going through that hassle. It seems like I go through a hassle anytime I pre-order. And he happened to be a cop, and he's like, hey, I bought 2 of them. He got on the phone with me, and when it arrived at his door, he literally threw it in his vehicle, and the next day I had it. He opened it to me, and he sold it to me for cost, and I was like, sweet.
That's
he's
dope.
like, no, he's like, I just want to get. He said I bought a second one, a pre-order, just in case of it, because there was always that big debacle, right? If
I did the same exact thing.
So that's how I got mine, brand new. He showed it to me at FedEx when they were packaging it up. I mean, he was really cool about it.
That's awesome.
That's dope. Yeah, I think I got mine lucky. Somehow I got into that when Sony themselves did the actual email code. I somehow got in with that.
Oh, nice.
But
That's what they did with the VR too.
Yeah, but I didn't get it till like a month. It took like a month for it to like ship to me, which sucked. But
I got the VR2 invite too, and I can't pull the trigger on it. It's too much.
Yeah, like, mine's just sitting in there right now.
I had the money at the time. I wasn't doing anything that day. I was off work, so I'm like, I'll just sit here and maybe I'll get through.
I can tell you that VR code only is good for about a week, and then it's no good anymore. You have to re-register for another one.
I checked mine. I got mine the day after you got yours, and it's still good. I can still go in there. It's in the cart, and it lets me go all the way to checkout.
See, I didn't even get that far when I got my first email. I didn't even notice it for like 2 weeks, and then I clicked on it. It's like, oh, this event has ended. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you're right with that one. That one was, I think it was like 2 days for that, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it might have been multiple ones they did, but this one says until February 28th. Now it's good until that date to pre-order.
Oh, nice.
So if you got the invite, they must be really making these out on pretty massive.
I think I'm gonna wait until they come into the store because I have a feeling they're gonna drop the price on it, and then they'll bundle some more games with it.
Yeah, within a couple weeks probably.
Yeah,
you think they will that quick? Really?
Nah, I don't think a couple weeks.
Not on the actual console.
Maybe like 6 months, but still, like.
But I do think he's right. I think if you do wait, they'll bundle some better games with it or something. You'll be able to get a better bundle than like the shit they're offering now.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck, I didn't buy the VR1 until like a year and a half after it was out. So I mean,
what kind of price drop did they do on that? Because I didn't get it.
It was a big price drop. It was almost like $150 off. I think when they finally hit it.
I paid $149 at Walmart for it with that bundle.
And I think they came out at like I think it came out at $250 with the bundle deals.
Yep.
That's what I paid for mine. It was about $250 on mine.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't owned one.
That's the only reason I bought it.
I got the Skyrim when it came out. And I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get this for River. He loves Skyrim, Yeah, right. It was for me.
I bought mine because it was like, oh, Borderlands 2 VR. I'm like, I love this game, and then it was such a letdown, and then I never hardly touched it after the fact. Such a waste.
That Borderlands was rough. It was basically like not even a full DLC.
It was the game just in VR. I'm like, this is such a letdown.
In low resolution.
Yeah, right.
Bad frame rate. Oh god.
Headache.
Yeah.
The headache frame rate.
I'd be interested to see if Valve has any interest in doing like a follow-up VR, because I feel like the opportunity is there. I mean, seems
you got too many competitors right now though. I think.
There is. I can't even believe HTC is trying to dive back in.
I mean, Valve's own VR is not. It's fairly expensive. I mean, you're gonna drop damn near $1,000.
Like $1,000, right?
On the if you want everything, it's like $1,000 for everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's
a little ridiculous.
Tall asking.
That's gonna appeal more to the PC.
But yeah, it's like
right.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's not only that, but you gotta have a bomb ass PC to play that. Then you can't just have you can't have your run of the mill, Walmart fucking PC and play the HTC at all. Like you've got to have some hardware to pump that thing, because your hardware for that for that headset is your console or is your power.
PC.
It's not
right.
Yeah, it's not the headset.
You've got some like base module box you got to plug it into, but I mean, if your computer's a potato, you're not gonna get anything good out of it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that one you're tethered as well, right? I would assume.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, that they give you like that, at least the length of cord that you can stretch it and not be, 3 feet away from your console.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have such little room to do the VR. I haven't even thought about that. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Hey man, just get rid of your bed. You don't need that thing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, might have to for that. Let's see. I think that we kind of covered all of the news for this week. Did anybody else?
Well, all the news that we decided to cover, because holy shit, there's a lot.
Well, yeah.
All means keep digging, because there's a ton.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, ton of news this week. I mean, we did a little grab bag of interesting ones, but I mean, overall, pretty good stuff. Looking forward to the VR2, that's for sure. Anybody have anything else to add tonight?
Silence across the boards.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if anything else major. Like I missed like half of this news, so I'm definitely.
No, you're good. What you want to plug, Steven?
I mean, we do a show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern called Game Time. You saw Glenn and Bill that were in there. They're two of my co-hosts. But we focus a lot more on the home arcade market, as you can see my home arcade behind me. We do a lot with console gaming too, like a lot of the retro stuff, Dreamcast all the way.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's more like what we do a lot with the arcades. In fact, Brandon, not to make you jealous, but my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet comes tomorrow.
That is what I wanted to ask you about. Yeah, I wanted to ask about. That's
I finally got to play with one of those. Like again, what was it? Tennessee. They've got the pinball museum.
Yeah.
In Nashville, I believe it is. Was it Nashville we went? Was it Nashville?
Or Chicago? Chicago has one too.
The pinball museum in Tennessee down here, and they had it in the back room, and it was like, oh my god, yes, that's the one, man. That's the nice cabinet right there. Then like standing shoulder to shoulder with somebody and being able to play.
That'd be like one of my dream arcade cabinets. Like if I was getting an actual arcade, but like arcade 1-up, I wanted that really bad, but I'm sure that I have the opportunity at some point. That's just for sure.
Wasn't there a new company? There's a new company now making those, right?
Well, Arcade 1-Up's making a lot of like the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the ones that like, you see in my background here. There's like 3 major companies that are doing it: At Games,
Games, Legends Gaming,
and iArcade. Yeah, I have.
Legends was the one I seen today.
I got that sitting over here.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I have the pinball for that as well. I think the pinball is the best thing that they've made so far.
Nice.
At Games. But yeah, I spend a lot more time with that kind of stuff, and
right.
I do the console, but I had to laugh because you guys were saying about work gets in the way of this. I have more fun collecting. My kids play the games more than I do. Like the console stuff, except for the newer stuff, but like I spend a lot more time. Like all my old consoles have like the EverDrives in them, so I can keep the other ones, the actual games pristine, because I don't want my kids and their friends grabbing stuff, and it's like no, that stays on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
no touchy.
Yeah, no, and even like my TurboGrafx 16, like I have the mini, so I kind of play that more just to kind of keep the TurboGrafx kind of as pristine as I can.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's kind of what we focus on. We talk about like a lot of that stuff, and you know how Arcade 1-Up keeps screwing up and not listening to their fan base, that kind of stuff.
Never. I want to check out one of those At Games pinball units, because
it's really cool.
That seems to be the most interesting thing to me too. Just owning a bunch of pinballs, unless you have like infinite space. I mean, that's a hard one, right?
That's tough.
And yeah, pinball that's a hard one.
But that's the problem even with arcades. Like I would love to have real arcades, but I could never have, like I have 30 cabinets in here of the Arcade 1-Ups, and I could never have that many full-size cabinets because they're so deep, never. Or they're so. Oh yeah. I mean, most of my friends, when they come in here, we do game nights and stuff. They're not sitting there going, "Well, this is emulated. This isn't like the original." And it's like, they don't know, and this isn't a Sanwa joystick or a hat button. This isn't competition. They don't care. They play it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Mortal Kombat. I remember playing this in the arcade." You know. So that's kind of like, it's the nostalgia feeling, right? That's right. That's the cool part about it.
It's an experience, so it's a different experience.
It's the experience, 100% the experience behind it. You had a question in there. I don't know if everybody wants to answer it, but I thought it was a good question.
Go ahead.
You said what console, that you thought had the best or worst port for arcade games, and I kind of want to go out on a limb and just say Sega Dreamcast had the best arcade games on the console, in my opinion. I thought they kind of before their time, they just destroyed it with that.
I'll agree with that. Good arcade ports, and the whole Naomi, which essentially is
that's kind of my. Yeah, I love the Dreamcast.
I mean, Dreamcast had the best sports games too.
As far as like ports and stuff like that, I've only played one game. I don't remember what it was called, but it was on the GameCube for like some games. I don't remember the collection.
Oh, you're talking about like a collection.
The Midway Arcade stuff that they did when they ported that to like games. That's like that's my only exposure to like arcade games on a console.
But you played Crazy Taxi, right?
That wasn't. I played it in an arcade before that one. I've never.
Well, that was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And it was an exact port. Like it was amazing.
Yes. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was on the Dreamcast. You know, it was just phenomenal.
The one I was going to say as far as the best is Super Street Fighter 2 on the 3DO. That is the best port of that game for sure. Play it again. Hands down. Exactly like the arcade game. There's pretty good comparisons of it too, but it's one of like one of like 3 physicals I have because I'm not like collecting physicals for that now. I'm just they play as burnt games. So, but yeah, that one is a one to check out for sure.
Actually, you were saying that, I was thinking of it. There were like 2 arcade games I remember as a kid. They were like the newer type arcade games. I don't remember what arcade it was where you would go win tickets to win prizes. Mm-hmm. There was a Mario Kart arcade game they had out. I think still
GP.
is out, the GP. And then a Hydro Thunder arcade version of the game. Where
Oh,
had, like,
Hydro Thunder!
Because I had
another great game on Dreamcast.
That was another Dreamcast game.
I had it on the 64, but I played it in the arcade. I'm like, I love the shit out of this game.
Oh, it's way better on the Dreamcast and the arcade. Oh, it's so much better.
Yep. That's why I said you could literally take a Dreamcast and throw it in an arcade cabinet with sticks and buttons and play like most of the games and be like, this is awesome.
Which they essentially did with the Naomi. Yeah. So I mean, it's for sure. That I didn't even think about the amount of arcade ports that work well on the Dreamcast. There's a lot. I mean, Power Stone.
Mm-hmm. Power Stone's another one. Yep.
Yeah. Oh god, so many.
I mean, think about it, not only that, but you can just make your own, Dreamcast games. You've got what was the Turtles game that I just bought recently? I haven't even opened it yet. I got it sitting right over here.
Oh, the Cowabunga.
No, it's a fan made game for Dreamcast, but it's like Turtles in space.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. No, just random ports people burn on a disc and you get to play.
Ton of home. Yeah, I just got these ones. So I don't know if you've seen these, and they're actually NES games, but they got like limited releases.
This one actually.
Yeah. No, I never played that.
Yeah, they're NES games, but they got like a limited. I feel like 200 cool. Got released on the Dreamcast.
Oh. And I need to find a Dreamcast. That's like not gonna break the bank.
They're not too bad.
You gotta play. Yeah. Did you play Soul Calibur? Like one of the best fighting games ever.
That's a good one.
I think I played it like once. I'm not a big fighting game person. I can talk about that all
well,
day.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it was huge.
Really great game on there too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what's the other one?
Not gonna lie though, I like Soul Calibur best on original Xbox because Spawn. Come on.
Oh, I mean, the GameCube version with Link.
Yeah. Yeah, the GameCube version had Link and the Xbox had Spawn.
Yeah. Yeah, they always did that though. Like moving forward, I remember there's one that had Yoda and the other one had Darth Vader. Yep. And then, God, there's more for sure. There's one that had.
See, I wish they did that more these days. Like, you could get the same game on both consoles, but you got different content depending on which one you played or which one you bought.
Yeah,
Lost in Space.
I wonder how that would work.
I ain't gonna come through because of my chroma cam.
Yeah, dude, there's a ton of homebrew on the Dreamcast because you're essentially with some of the games you can just kind of just burn the game and play it. There's like Atari collections.
Yeah, they're still making them. There's a community forum and also the PS Vita. I've
got one
PS
pre-order.
Vita games.
Yes, yeah, Vita 2 for sure.
So is the Dreamcast just that easy to homebrew to develop for essentially?
Well, the thing is, there's no copy protection on it. You don't have to do anything to
completely region free
and throw it right in there and it'll play.
Any game you want to play now, you can burn it.
Yeah.
Just like the 3DO, like he was saying, like I have all my originals still, and then I just play burnt copies on it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put any of my original Dreamcast games into the system at all, ever.
It's not a bad thing
for sure.
The way those lasers go.
That's right. Or you could scratch. Even I could scratch it, right? It just slips out of your hand or something. But yeah, no, everything is, everything's uncopy protected on the Dreamcast. So just burn a copy, and throw it in there.
So Mark, the consensus is you got to get a Dreamcast.
I just wish it had more light gun games. There's only like 5. I felt like the Sega Saturn was perfect for that. There's so many different light gun games.
Yeah, but you can't play it on the new TVs like House of the Dead, and you play Typing of the Dead.
Yeah.
But that's why I have like the kiosks and stuff. So I'll play on my 2 Dreamcast kiosks.
There you go.
So I like to play on.
Okay,
I don't just have one.
Now I'm jealous. That's
sure.
I only have a PlayStation 3 kiosk.
I did see that. I actually watched your game room tour before this.
Oh jeez.
I commented earlier. I just wanted to, check out and see like the whole entire layout. Because I love the arcades in the background.
I gotta update that because I moved all my consoles into a whole nother room. Like everything console related is in a whole nother room, and this is just strictly the arcade area on the other side of the studio. So, but yeah,
that's what happened with the kiosks in some of my arcades.
Listen, I got room there. You can just send over that other Dreamcast one. I got right in that other corner. No, that'd be a holy grail for sure, because that's a great kiosk to own is Dreamcast.
It's not too big either. It's like just the right height, especially for me. I'm a little shorter, so it's like it's perfect to play. It's like don't have a Saturn one just yet, but that one's on my list. I have like 20 some different kiosks.
Wow.
And then I go for
the
like
Dreamcast one would go with my jacket that I have. So I mean,
nice.
just saying.
If you need room.
Yeah,
he's got some for you.
I've got room. I'm happy. It'll be in good hands.
A Saturn one, that'd be great. That's my favorite.
So what's your what would you say is your top kiosk on your list?
Virtual Boy. Say you got a Virtual Boy.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's the one I want. That or Vectrex.
Like top on the list that you haven't got yet.
I would love the Vectrex one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Vectrex.
Because I'm 2 games away from a full set.
I also saw that.
Talking about VR, like they had the 3D glasses.
Imager, yeah.
So it's like, we started really, really, really long time ago, and now here we go. Kind of advancing. I just something about certain kiosks, just like the way that they look. The Saturn being like so big with Sonic the Hedgehog. The Vectrex, that would be pretty cool. Even like the big Game Boy, a buddy of mine had the big Game Boy one, and it was shaped like it.
That's awesome.
That is dope.
That would be cool. That would be cool to have in a game room.
I will say we've got a local store out here, which I'm so happy that we do still have quite a few of them around that I can drive to. Actually, it's nice. But we've got one that he literally has like, you walk in, his whole center island and like one whole wall is nothing but kiosks. So he's got like the old Nintendo 64 kiosk. He's got the UFO kiosk in there. All just like tons of them, like the old Pokemon ones.
My local retro store has one of the Wii kiosks, and that thing has a banging TV in it.
Oh yeah, a lot of them
probably
did.
It's like one of the best TVs I've seen. In like a flat screen in one of these displays. Like I keep telling him, I'm like, I've got room for that. He's like, I'm not getting rid of it.
I'll swap that TV out for you, man.
He goes to me, he said, maybe I'll sell you the kiosk. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, but you're not getting the TV out of it. He's like, what's the point? You can put it. I'm like, come on, man, it goes with it,
it has to go together.
I'll say, while I'm thinking about this kiosk, the Pokemon Snap one would be another one that would probably be like third for me. And then the TurboGrafx one, because there was like so few of those. Like I've never seen that. Yeah, I've never seen that one in person, and it looks pretty cool, for sure. Do you have the Pokemon Snap one?
Nice. Yeah, I have a couple N64s. I have like the one that was the N64. That's the legit one that came from Nintendo. But then I have like the Kid Space ones, the ones where they made like McDonald's. I don't have the McDonald's model, but I have.
So she has a couple Nintendo 64. So what she's saying is that she needs to make some room for new kiosks.
Right.
That's what
I'll pay for shipping.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Are you guys hearing that? I'm hearing that.
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm taking over the garage now I have arcades in there that I can't get to, and then I'm getting 3 more arcade full size, not arcade 1-ups, and a pinball. So like they're all coming.
So you need room.
I do.
There you go. See?
Well, buy a bigger house.
We are making a road trip relatively soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have nothing left. I feel like I'm getting the bad end of this deal.
Oh well, I'll give you. I'll throw you a Game Boy or something. Couple NES games. That'll do for this.
You can see it now. Traded it all for a Game Boy, even though I already had multiples.
That's right.
Well, Steven, it's been fun having you on. We appreciate it, and we're going to have you on again for sure. It's been a lot of fun tonight.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Mark, do you want to go ahead and grab the plugs?
Yeah, I got those pulled up. So first one is Reaper Apparel. It's not just clothing, but a lifestyle and a daily reminder to escape the mundane. Reaper Apparel, built for those who refuse to die slowly. It's reaperapparelco.com. 10% off with game code Game Junction Podcast. We also have Patreon. It's patreon.com/game_junction. these are all going to be in the description below as well. We also have W Energy with their patented
Neurofiber.
Yeah, I better screw that up. Formula. Get the focus and energy you need with zero jitters or crash. W, be better. You can get 10% off with game code GameJunction1. We also have some merch at Bonfire. It's bonfire.com/GameJunction, as well as our, I can't speak now. Join our Buzzsprout affiliate with all our affiliate link. It's a it's got a bunch of numbers.
Be in the description.
It's all
giant link, the biggest link you'll ever see.
Right. All that's gonna be down below if you don't remember it. It's a lot to read off. But yeah, I think that's everything I got. Unless you got anything else.
I don't have anything else. All right, guys, been a fun night. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and or follow for Twitch or any of the other platforms. And we'll be back again next week.
I appreciate y'all. See you.
Later.